Welcome to Kumba Software DPAA tutorials. This tutorial is about building validation credentials from certificates that are already on the box. So be sure to set your video playback to high definition, and though some visual details may have changed since this video was created, the functionality will be the same. So what I'm starting out with is a couple appliances is selected, and I'm working with a test domain right now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Find Certificates tab. Find and under Find, there are three. One of them is certificates. And I'm going to check my filters here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to ignore expiration dates so that I can get all the certificates listed that I want in the appliance, or at least the appliance in the selected domain. So what I've done is I've got now a couple of certificates here. They're, external certificates of some kind. And what I need to do is I need to be able to create validation credentials using these certificates for the validation. So, and this presupposes you don't already have a validation credential for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these certificates here, and then I'm going to right mouse click, or I could use the hamburger menu. In fact, I'll do that. And I'm going to select Create Validation Credential from Selected. So what I end up with is I end up with a dialog that's showing me some information. The first thing we're going to concern ourselves with is creating the validation credential name itself. So in my particular case, what I want to be able to do is I kind of cheated a little bit so you don't have to watch me type. I'm going to create the validation credential called External Company Valcred. That's what I'm going to name the validation credential object. We have the validation mode that's match exact certificate or immediate issuer. We've got the option to use certificate revocation lists or require them. We have the option to choose whether or not the validation credential objects will use CRL handling or require it, or ignore it or require it. And then we also have the option to indicate whether or not we want to check expiration dates in the Valcred to not accept the certificate if it's expired. And then we kind of have a reminder of the certificates that we've selected for this. Now when I select next, what's going to happen is I'm seeing kind of a finalization screen to show you the breakdown of what's going to happen. So in this particular case, on Dev 2, because we're working with multiple appliances here, actually, it's more accurate to say we're working with more than one appliance here. It does depend on what I selected, not so much what appliances I actually have selected here, but what appliances are made up by the selection I have here. So if I had only selected the first two certificates, I would only have Dev 2, I would not have Dev 1, and vice versa. So on Dev 2, that's this appliance, it's going to create a validation credential called External Company Valcred, and it's going to include two certificates in the Valcred, and the same with Dev 1. Now the other note is that had I not selected all four of these, let's suppose I had not selected the IBM cert under Dev 2, then the Dev 2 Valcred would only have the Google cert listed here. It would not also have the IBM cert selected here. So DPA is smart enough to know, hey, based upon your selection, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and select Finish. And then DPAA goes out, sets a configuration for the validation credential in the two appliances. So now what I can do is I can go to Find Objects, and I can go to Crypto Validation Credential, and I can search. And what happens is I see two green objects here. They're named External Company Valcred, as you might imagine. They're new and they're up, which means these two objects are now created and they're new. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open the selected objects so we can see what their configuration looks like. And then you can start getting an idea that the certificates, this doesn't display so well, the certificates are there. We've got the certificate object name. We indicated that we're going to ignore CRL distribution points and some other things that we have in here. So we're not requiring the CRL, we're using the CRL, so you can see that. The other thing, the better way to see the certificates is if I go manage the crypto validation credential certificates here, and here we can see that on Dev 1 we have the Google and IBM, and on Dev 2 we have the Google and IBM cert as well. And we can manage that list of certificates here. That's a topic of a different tutorial. So as you can see, DPAA created everything we needed and everything we requested. I got to save my I got to persist my configuration because that's not automatic. We're just going to go ahead and persist it. We've saved the configuration, and now if I go search again, you're going to see real quickly, it looks a little bit different now, but you can see the config state is now saved. So if you have any comments, suggestions, or you want a license or whatever, go out to www.kumbasoft.com, and what we're going to have is you can look at other tutorials and videos out there. You can go get a license if you don't already have one. We give you plenty of time to make sure that the product works for you before you have to start paying for the license. So be sure to like and subscribe to this channel so you can get all the updates that we do and all the new features that we're releasing for the product. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.